Welcome to What's Bastards podcast. My name is Robert.
I'm Damian.
And I'm Steve.
And I'm James, and on this episode we're going to be talking about the recent BBC sitcom Ghosts, starring the cast of Horrible Histories, and going to be giving some of our thoughts on the series.
And if that's your thing and you're watching on YouTube, why not like, comment and subscribe?
And if you're listening to us on any other platform, please hit that follow button.
So Ghosts is a series that came out, the first series came out in early 2019. I came across it on iPlayer fairly more recently. I think it was sort of early 2020 during the thing that I shan't mention. And we kind of gave it a watch and we enjoyed the first episode, and we ended up watching the whole first series that same night, 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And since then, there's been series 2, which they recorded just before You Know What Happened, and that came out this year. There's also been a Christmas special. So, needless to say, I really enjoy the series, and I think it's really good. And it stars notably the kind of main cast from the original Horrible Histories TV series that I imagine most of us kind of grew up watching. So, apart from Steve, maybe. But
It's also written by some of the cast of Horrible Histories as well.
yeah, that too. It's a kind of sort of Monty Python type troupe of writer-performers kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So you guys have watched it this week. I know you've had mixed opinions on it, so I'll be interested to hear what you thought of it.
Okay, well, I'm interested to hear what's Damian's opinion, because what he posted on the What's Bastards podcast group chat yesterday.
Yeah, what I sent on the group chat yesterday wasn't necessarily positive.
No.
No, bear in mind, when I was watching it, I had no sleep, and I had no sleep the night before. So I was running on fumes, as one would say, and only one brain cell was functioning.
So you weren't necessarily in the most charitable of moods to be going into this with.
Exactly. But no, to be fair, Ghosts did get me chuckling some of the sometimes, but in the majority of the time I was watching it, I was just cringing.
No.
Like it didn't feel to me as cringy as any TikTok videos.
Okay.
But it still had me cringing.
So what about it did you not enjoy?
Just the fact that it was the same old jokes all over again. Like the jokes may have been used in different ways, but it was the same old joke. And normally in comedy, there's something called the rule of 3, which, for example, if the punchline is repeated 3 times, it's funny. Any more than 3, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And but I felt like Ghosts had their own change of this rule 389,000. It felt like that joke was played so many times.
Which jokes are you thinking of specifically?
Give us an example.
I'm a ghost. He can't hear me. You can. Ooh.
I think you brought up a kind of a valid problem with sitcoms in general, which is that if you have the same cast each episode, that there are going to be like stock characters and tropes and jokes that get repeated quite often, and it can become an issue with certain series that if the writers can't find new things to do with the characters, they end up falling back on the same ideas and the same jokes. And like The Big Bang Theory is probably a good example of that. Like a series that's just like very predictable in terms of what it does with the characters.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of now that you've explained it, that's what I kind of see Ghosts becoming. Anyone else got any opinions?
Well, I think it seems the Horrible Histories ones who play the ghosts, they seem well cast as the characters that they play.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen that
As
actually.
somebody who hasn't watched much of Horrible Histories, I'm going to ask a question now and see what you three say.
God.
I'm guessing, do they play more or less the same kind of characters as they cast as in Ghosts in Horrible Histories?
I'd say so, yes.
Yeah.
But it kind of depends on what era they play in Horrible Histories. But a lot of the time, it's
So like
it's
the one
like
playing
a
the Colonel
parody.
always plays that kind of character, I mean.
To me, it feels like it's definitely a parody of Horrible Histories.
Okay. Yeah,
But,
because they got
you know,
different
but
times and different ghosts is in different eras, isn't it?
Yeah.
From different eras, I mean.
James?
I think fundamentally the difference is though that Horrible Histories is a sketch show, whereas this is a sitcom.
Yeah.
So in Horrible Histories, they're all playing different characters. There are some recurring characters, I guess, but most of the time they're playing new characters each time. So, but I suppose naturally, if you've got an ensemble cast, you're going to choose certain people for certain roles.
Yeah.
As we well know, certain people tend to play certain types of characters.
Yes.
Not mentioning any names, but from our own
Policeman.
lot.
Policeman Royals.
Oh, we need a comedy policeman. Who can we cast for that?
Yeah.
No idea.
Stephen, do you know anyone?
Nope.
We need a soppy romantic beta male. Who are we going to play? Who's going to play that on?
I was just going to say that when I watched the first episode and I saw the that caveman character for the first time, and then I thought of the game that we played, who to cast, who from Doctor Who can we cast as the Shakespeare, that game that we played, and I saw that caveman, and I instantly thought, you know, Steve can play that caveman really well.
Thanks.
I mean, he already looks like it.
Hi.
We did this exact same bit 2 episodes ago where Damian made a joke about him being thawed out of the ice.
Yes. Just for you listeners out there, I'm not as old as they like to make out. I just make that clear.
3,923,000, you told us.
Wow.
It's all right, Steve. 47's the new 32.
Excuse me.
Steve, why don't you tell us the story about when you met the bear?
The bear.
I'm in the Jungle Book now, am I?
No, the bear. You had a big stick and you had a rock in your other hand.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I know what you mean now. I just realised.
You know when he played Charles II?
Yes.
Like, was that based on?
That was
Was that based on your own memories? Of,
No. That play was called We Happy Few, and it was the character that I was playing that character within the play. Of play within the play sort of thing.
Okay, besides from the repeating jokes, is there? What would you guys, if you were the new writers of the show, which direction would you take it? What would you change?
That's a good
good
question.
question.
Or like, what would you like to see? Maybe.
Well, in the second series, they had a couple of episodes where they went down the line of kind of exploring the backstories of some of the characters and how they died. So I'd want, I definitely want to see more of that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like standalone ideas, I don't know, because I mean it's established that the characters can't leave the grounds of the place, so it's not like you could have them going elsewhere.
No.
I'd maybe do an episode where the 2 living characters, Alison and Mike.
Yeah, I think it is
what
Mike.
they're
Yeah,
called.
Mike. I think.
I'd maybe have an episode where they go somewhere else, like they go away for a weekend and they have to kind of go through their weekend interacting with other ghosts in this location that they've gone to or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of out of the format a little bit because there's different characters, but it might be a fun.
Yeah, I would like to see them two go kind of like a tour around wherever they go. Around a tour, like you say, see new ghosts and new characters, new problems. It can be the same old cast if need be, but just new characters.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that happen, but less of the same jokes.
Because you see occasionally, you see them go elsewhere, and she bumps into different ghosts at different times, and that's quite fun. So I'd kind of like to see more of that, maybe. But that's just off the top of my head.
I remember when I laughed the most, really, with ghosts though.
Go on.
Is when she went back to the hospital. She was talking to a doctor.
Yeah.
And that scene.
I think you do. I do believe that you do speak to ghosts. Yes. Oh, good. So you believe me then? Yes. Mainly because I'm also dead.
Yeah, and then the real nurse walks through the door.
The real doctor comes in.
that was quite clever. To be fair.
I thought so as well.
So the bit where they're looking at different houses and flats and stuff like that, and they go into this flat, and there's two dead German airmen.
Oh yeah, that was on the penthouse suite, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Rob? What would you do with it if you had to write an episode of this show? What would you do with it?
Well, I don't really know. I haven't watched like season 2. I just watched the first season, so I don't know how season 2 goes yet. But I think I possibly like agree with you. Maybe take it maybe a couple episodes out the house, and introduce new ghosts. That might be interesting, like you said. But at this point, I don't really know because I haven't watched. I haven't watched the second series yet, so I don't really know.
The other thing I'd like to see more of is I think it's the last episode of series 2. The premise is that they're hosting a wedding at the house.
Yeah.
And a pair of burglars are planning to go into the house at night and steal all the like supplies for the wedding that they're hiring. And Alison's gone for a night out with her friends, and so it's just Mike alone in the house. And so obviously the ghosts see this burglary taking place, and they have to try and figure out how to communicate with Mike with Alison not there, which is quite fun as well. So I kind of like to see more. I imagine they're going to go more in that direction in the future, where they figure out ways for him to be able to communicate with them and stuff like that. So I kind of like to see more of that.
How long do you think it'll last? How many series do you think it'll last?
I know it's been commissioned for a third series. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Do you know how other people do other people like it? Like, is the reviews mostly positive or negative or neutral?
Yeah, I think it's been well received. I think it's quite popular. I don't know. I also think that sitcoms should never last more than 4 series, just as a rule of thumb. So, because otherwise they become repetitive. And,
well, they already are repetitive, in my opinion, really. So, if I can see it's repetitive, everyone else will probably see in about a few years how repetitive it is.
Yeah.
What did you think, Rob?
What do I think? I don't know. Sometimes I thought like I liked it, and then sometimes I thought I didn't like it. But I think the majority of the time I liked it, if that makes sense. I mean, some of the jokes, like I suppose they were a bit cringy, but I mean, I suppose like overall, it's just a little bit of a fun thing to watch in the afternoon. I believe like on TV, it's like at 9 o'clock at night. I've heard.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I think it is after the watershed. Yeah, so
Yeah.
about 9ish.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, actually. Something I wanted to bring up is actually the fact that it kind of, to me, it feels more like a family show.
Yeah.
It doesn't really feel like an
Yeah.
adult sitcom so much.
I read a couple
So
of
that's
things,
interesting.
and that's what they said as well. It seems to be more family orientated than just adults.
I think it's definitely, it's probably for sort of slightly more older children, I guess, but it has that feel to it, I think. Like it kind of reminds me a little bit, although it's a different genre, but it kind of reminds me a bit of like Merlin or Robin Hood. Kind of makes me slightly nostalgic for the era where they had these kind of family shows on a Saturday night on BBC One that were kind of just kind of nice family shows, really, you know.
I'll tell you what I have thought throughout watching these first season. I thought the actor for the Scoutmaster character
Oh yeah.
is so much like Stephen.
That's what I thought as well.
In what way?
In fact, you know,
I don't know.
in fact, you know what? When I'm writing Willie and Wendy, I'm kind of half imagining that character as Willie. A little bit. So I'm glad you thought that.
I can't quite get why. I mean, he looks similar to you, yes, but not.
I haven't got a triple chin.
That was the reason. That was the reason I was going to say, but not really.
No offense to the actor who plays him. Just
but the
in
way,
case he
yeah.
listens to this.
But the way
Jim Howick.
the way you act, Steve, as well, is kind of like him as well. Like there's similarities in every aspect.
Yeah.
Can you explain any more, James? Because you had the same thought, train of thought as me.
They're both comic actors with a kind of generally jolly, chappy kind of persona.
Well, there you go, Steve. You can now play the caveman and the scout camp leader person.
Yeah, evidently.
I do like that character though. I think that is probably my favourite character of the ghosts.
Which one?
The scout leader,
Oh, right, okay.
who is called
Pat Butcher,
Pat Butcher. Thank you.
strangely.
Pat Bush-off, EastEnders.
Right. It is Pat as in Patrick.
Yeah, I know.
I did laugh when you see how he died. It flashed back because there's one episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was there teaching he was the scoutmaster showing the kids with archery.
Yeah.
And then there's just one of the kids was a bit of a rebel. I just goes stunk and just stunk.
What happens after that, though, seems too cartoon for me. Like after the shot in the neck, it feels too
Yeah,
cartoon.
it took a bit too long to die. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I talking of that was one scene where I guessed exactly what was going to happen. Like David said, he got into the bus and then you see him driving around on the bus, and then there was just one single tree in the field, and I was like, I know what's coming.
Yeah.
That's episode 3. I'm looking at the
Okay.
list now. Happy Death Day. What I
That's
liked
it,
about
yeah.
that episode was the way they had the kind of ending with his family there, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice tasteful bit of pathos.
Yeah.
At the end there.
Yeah.
I really liked.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
With the light, and he was like saying goodbye to everyone.
Yeah.
And it just turned out to be a build shining those. I don't know what they're called, but those light things.
Yeah, I know you mean, yeah.
There's a similar thing in series 2 with the poet character.
The failed poet, yes.
They do a similar thing where they kind of have a moment of resolution, and actually it doesn't go anywhere.
Please tell me in season 2, the poet character stops the stupid love thing. I'm because that is another joke that's going on for far too long now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a particular fan of that.
No, I'm not.
thing.
I'll be honest with you. I agree with you on that one, Damian.
Oh, you're married and I'm dead. It will never work.
Oh, I know. Kill yourself, then we'll be together forever.
It was funny for the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And after that, it just got incredibly boring.
Yeah.
I think he should turn his attentions on Mike now.
Why does the politician have no trousers on?
The sex scandal. He died. He
Oh,
died in a
right.
sex
Yeah.
scandal.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I think so. Okay, so if Stephen would be playing the Scoutmaster character,
Thanks.
I guess I'd be playing the poet because that's the kind of part I tend to play.
Okay.
The soppy idiot, you mean?
The soppy idiot, yeah.
Damian can be the headless one.
Oh, I've got no head.
No, I was thinking he can play the caveman actually because he's done those sort of kind of voices before. So yeah, that's it.
Ow. I hit my hand. Really, that hurts.
What did you hit your hand on?
My phone.
Oh dear.
That's it. Perfect.
You're the you would do well as the commander guy or whatever rank he is.
Whatever rank
yeah,
it is.
the soldier,
Yeah.
the captain.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, Steve, what did you think of the series?
Yeah, it was alright. It was good. Yeah, some of the jokes got repeated and a bit. Some things were a bit what's the word? Predictable at times, but yeah, it's a pretty enjoyable little thing. I wouldn't mind having that ability and being able to see ghosts myself. That'd be quite fun, I think.
Get out, 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 get out.
I quite like the idea that, you know, partly that the characters are from a range of different time periods.
Yeah.
It's not just the typical, like, Elizabethan or Victorian ghosts like you might expect. I like that they have a caveman and a Tory MP from the 90s, and, you know, but also that the characters are they're still human beings in the sense that they're not just scary ghosts or whatever.
Yeah.
They have personalities and stuff. An interesting thing, actually, that I saw on Twitter was that the second series was being directed by this guy who had this idea to film the entire series in one continuous shot,
Wow.
a la 1917.
Oh right.
And he got fired,
Fair enough.
which isn't funny, really. I feel sorry for the guy, but yeah, I don't know what happened there. But also watching the second series, I couldn't really see how that would have worked. So
I would
I thought
imagine
that was
after
something
they
interesting.
fired him, they probably changed some of the episode ideas. Yeah, he might have had a different idea for how the episodes were going to go. If he was going to do one continuous thing, I would imagine.
Yeah, maybe. But I think they'd already been filming this. I think they started filming it like this, and then
Oh right.
and then got rid of him mid-production. So I can't imagine the scripts changed a vast amount.
Okay.
But I thought that was kind of interesting.
Weird though.
Yeah.
Weird idea.
yeah. I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, it's good that, you know, for someone to want to do something kind of different like that. But
it's a kind of different
yeah.
that it's a kind of different that it's obvious it won't work because how long is one episode? 30 minutes.
yeah.
And there was 6 episodes in first season, so that's 3 hours already.
Yeah.
So just showing Damian a review I just found.
It's on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, it says on here, made by the people behind Horrible Histories, it's a witless farrago of bad jokes performed badly by bad actors. And Rotten Tomatoes tend to be brutally honest.
And it says Ghosts has a very big heart. Rating 7 out of 10.
I think they're right about it. You know, it's you know, they say it's got heart. They mean it's kind of not sort of quite. It's not too kind of cynical and kind of. Yeah, I think there is a trend more recently to having sitcoms and comedies and things like that are very almost like they're trying to be really kind of harsh and kind of grim and And I think it is. I think they're right about it. It is quite a kind of warm-hearted thing.
I do got to. I had to be honest though. Ghosts are like you said. Ghosts is a sitcom. If you look at all other sitcoms, they're all the same. They're all the same format. They're all the same jokes. But Ghosts stand out. To be fair to them, Like to be fair to it, it stands out and it does work. But they need to change the jokes.
Yeah.
I think sitcoms are very difficult to get right because of those reasons that we've talked about, and also if it doesn't work because you're committed to doing basically the same thing. If the premise doesn't work, then the sitcom doesn't work at all. But I kind of think actually sketch shows are very out of fashion at the moment. Like they're just not being made nowadays, which I think is a real shame because the great thing about sketch shows is if a sketch doesn't land, it's fine because it only lasts 3 minutes and there's another one just around the corner.
Yeah.
You know? So I kind of hope that sketch shows come back into fashion before too long, especially as, you know, where we have to sit through so much, you know, stuff like Mrs. Brown's Boys and stuff like that that's just always on the TV.
I don't know about that show. I mean, like a lot of people like it, but I just, my personal opinion, I don't find it funny. Really,
it's more Irish humour.
Yes, but yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Mrs. Brown's Boys is more Irish humour.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
If you want Irish humour, watch Father Ted. That's what I say.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Father Ted, in my opinion, is the best sitcom ever made. Brilliant.
Now you're going to have to bleep that.
And I was to say,
put it
Mrs.
out
Brown's
completely.
Boys, fecking brilliant.
Yeah.
And you don't need to bleep that because YouTube are completely fine with that.
Feck.
Yeah, they're fine with feck, but not fine with the other word.
Oh, okay. Feck.
Well, why do you think they chose to put it on 9 o'clock at night? Like, what age range is the show meant to be for? Do you think?
I don't know. Maybe it's more the fact that there's like some bits that are kind of scary a little bit.
But
Maybe
then,
that's why.
look at Doctor Who. That was on earlier than The Watershed.
I think
That probably is a lot scarier than Ghosts.
Yeah.
I agree with what you said earlier, James, about it targets the young teens area.
Yeah.
Because young teens would be awake at 9.
Yeah.
Teens would be awake.
Yeah, I suppose.
Teens would be awake till about 11. They don't care.
I mean, there's nothing explicit like adult humour, is there? There's in the same sense as, like you said, with Panto, it's kind of, there's a bit of innuendo here, but like, you know, when they make jokes about the character Fanny and there's kind of innuendos and stuff like that, like a kid isn't going to understand that, right? So, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't quite know that. I don't quite understand that, but maybe it's just that they don't want to put something like this on at 7 o'clock because they've got, you know, Strictly Come Dancing to put on or something.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you may remember from a couple of episodes ago, Damian did the first half of a quiz where he was badly describing the plot of different musicals, so he's going to treat us to the second half of that quiz today.
Yay.
And yeah, so take it away.
Well, let's start from the top, shall we? Question 1. A girl invites all her mum's exes to her wedding. Question 2. The life story of a French-bred thief. Question 3. A man's extreme gardening practices leads to the death of many.
Oh, what the hell's it called? Oh, yeah.
Question 4. A misunderstood teenager tries to take down a fascist dictator. And question 5. Future Vice President shoots his old friend. We all ready?
As I'll ever be.
Yeah.
So question 1 was a girl invites all her mum's exes to the wedding. I think we all know what that is, apart from Rob.
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia.
It's Mamma Mia.
Yay.
Rob, what have you got?
I haven't put any answers down. I don't know. I don't.
Oh, it seems like you're this week's big loser.
Yeah. I don't. I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not really into musicals. So. Yeah.
Question 2.
Get out.
The life story of a French bread thief.
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables.
Oh,
What did you put, Steve?
I didn't put anything because I couldn't think.
Question.
Have you not seen Les Mis?
Yeah.
Not-
Haven't you heard me
not
talk about
fully.
Les Mis pretty much
I've heard
every
you talk
single
about it,
time?
yeah, but never heard you talking about a French bread thief.
We need to educate you.
Question 3. A man's extreme gardening practices lead to the deaths of many. Which is...
Drop of Horrors.
Yeah.
Little Shop of Horrors.
One of my favourite ones, that one. I like that one.
I did that one in year 9.
And who did you play, James?
Chorus member 57.
Wow, that's a famous character.
In high school, in my high school, one of the best teachers there,
yeah.
called...
Oh, yes.
He played the plant.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Or he played Audrey too.
Hey.
But it was in Welsh though, which so I had kind of had the clip on my ear.
Shopfach.
I had a clip on my ear that translates everything.
Oh,
So,
yes.
Yeah.
Shopfach. What would it be?
Shop back. Oh.
I'll get back to you on that.
Shop back. I'll get back to you on that. Now we know, ladies and gentlemen, that's the name of it. Question 4. A misunderstood teenager tries to take down a fascist dictator.
Is it Wicked?
You are very much correct. It is Wicked.
I didn't have anything down.
Good guess, James. And question 5. Future vice president shoots his old friend.
Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't have anything for that one either.
How many points, James?
Big fat 5 out of 5.
Stephen.
2.
And Robert.
Don't even need to ask me.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, James has already said it. Robert is today's big loser.
Yay.
So that means you get to do the quiz questions for next episode, Rob.
But are we really going to do it, ladies and gentlemen? Don't think so.
Yeah, Little Shop.
Yes.
Forgotten.
Yes.
Little Shop of Horrors in Welsh. Siop fach o erchyll terau. Erchyll terau.
And there's that sound that signals the end of this episode. If you like that sound and enjoyed this episode of the podcast, then please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below telling us what you think.
This podcast is now available on most streaming platforms, including YouTube, Spotify, and Google Podcasts.
And don't forget to check out the links in the description for our other channels and websites. And on that note, it's good night from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
It's a good night and goodbye from me, I suppose.
Yeah, can I do that again? Because I said good night. Is that a goodbye?
That's staying in.
And to play us out, here's an unused piece of music from our recent production of Charles Dickens's spooky short story, The Signal Man, which we released at Christmas. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now.